Hi guys, so I'm here with my combined February wrap up and favourites. I didn't think either video would be long enough really on its own, so I've decided to combine the two. February was a fairly decent reading month for me. I read 6 books, most of which I enjoyed, so let's get into it. The first book that I read in February was My Maddie by Tilly Cole. This is the 8th book in her Hades Hangman series, and if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you will know I absolutely adore Tilly Cole, and I especially adore her Hades Hangman series. And what I loved about this book is that it actually revisited a couple, Flame and Maddie. Flame and Maddie, they had their main book in book 3 in the series, and it's one of my absolute favourites. I love each book in the Hades Hangman series, but I think I have a special place in my heart for Flame and Maddie, and so we got to see them again. We also caught up with a few other characters, little Ash, who is Flame's brother, and oh my gosh, the feels for him. I can't wait for his own book, because he is going through some awful stuff right now, and but anyway, we got to revisit them, and I was very lucky that I received an advance copy of it. And yeah, it was a Tilly Cole Hades Hangman book, so I absolutely loved it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. If you haven't read the Hades Hangman series, I recommend it. However, it is what is considered like a dark romance series, so it's about a motorcycle gang and a group of women that were basically in an abusive cult. So yeah, as you can imagine, lots of trigger warnings for stuff going on in that series. But it is a fabulous, fabulous series, and I highly recommend it. So the next book that I read, well actually I read a trilogy in February. I read Wicked. What's the other one called? Torn, there we go, I can't read my own handwriting. Wicked, Torn and Brave by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which makes up the Wicked trilogy. And I had the first book on my Kindle and hadn't realised I had the first book on my Kindle, and I decided to pick it up because I really want to start her other series. What is it called? Storm and Fury, but the next book in that series isn't out until a little later on this year, so I decided I would read this series, and it was okay. It was not my favourite Jennifer L. Armentrout series. To me, it didn't match the level of the Lux series by her. And the Lux series is an absolutely fabulous series, and I love it, and it now has a sort of spin-off series, which I have yet to read the second book to. But yeah, this series, it was okay. I think if I had read it 3 or 4 years ago, maybe I'd have liked it a lot more, but it just wasn't, I don't know, like, I just didn't enjoy it as much as I hoped to. It's about a girl, and I can't even remember what her name is, terrible, and she basically lives in New Orleans, and she's part of this elite order that kills members of the Fae because they feed on humans, and it's her duty to wipe them out. But she finds out that actually there may be a bigger plan to bring more Fae into the world, which would have catastrophic events happen. So it was good. It was an okay read, but it wasn't my favourite. And yeah, it was 3 books, and it was okay. There was a romance element to it, which was okay. Again, it was just an okay read. It wasn't a standout read for me, but I did want to finish the series, so I did read all 3 books. The next book that I read was one of my most highly anticipated releases of this entire year, and it came out in February, and that is Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. Oh my god, guys, you know that my love for Lisa Kleypas is strong. Like, I absolutely adore Lisa Kleypas' romance books. They are my favourite, and each year I highly anticipate the next release, and I believe this is going to be the last book in this series, the Ravenels series, because as far as I can figure out, each member of the family has now met their match. So, I mean, I can't see what the next book would be, and I haven't been able to see anything online as to, you know, a Ravenel's book 7 or anything like that. So I think potentially the next series that we get from Lisa Kleypas might be a spin-off of Lillian and Marcus's children, potentially from her Wallflowers series. Maybe. I get that hint. Whether I'm just reading into things because I'm hoping for it, I don't know. But yeah, I don't quite know what the next Lisa Kleypas book is going to be, and I am on tenterhooks waiting to find out. But I absolutely adore Lisa Kleypas's historical romances. I am a historical romance lover. It's my favourite genre to read, but Lisa Kleypas's books are just at that level for me that they are unbeatable. I haven't read anything that I enjoy as much as Lisa Kleypas, and I can reread her books, which I can't with all books. So yeah, Chasing Cassandra was Cassandra's book, and she is the twin of Pandora from book 3, and it's her meeting her match and Tom Severin, which we've met throughout the book as well. So they're two characters that we have known for the whole series, and they come together and they have their story. Very interesting match. Cassandra's very lovely. She's very friendly. All she wants is kind of a normal life. She wants to fall in love. She's very beautiful, and she's declined some marriage proposals because she's looking for, you know, the right person. She wants to be happy. She's seen the other members of her family meet their true loves, and she wants that for herself, and she hasn't found that right person for her. Tom Severin is sort of a low-born man who has raised himself up. He's built a business empire, and he's got his fingers in all sorts of pies, and he's a very interesting character because he decides he can only have 5 emotions. They're the only ones that he can have. And he doesn't believe that love is one of the emotions that he needs in his life. But he meets Cassandra and he can't forget about her. So it was a very, very interesting romance. I don't think it's my favourite of the series. I was actually following some Instagram threads about the release when it came out, and people were ranking the Ravenel series their favourites, and I found it quite funny because a lot of people's least favourite Ravenel's book is my favourite Ravenel's book. So but yeah, I really enjoyed Chasing Cassandra. I still gave it 5 out of 5. It's very hard because I love all of Lisa Kleypas's books, but for me, I think that Marrying Winterbourne will always be my favourite Ravenel book, which is the second book, followed by Devil in Spring, I think, and then followed by Hello Stranger, which is actually the order that they follow. But yeah, still thoroughly love this book. I read it in like 48 hours. I did not want to put it down. It arrived actually well over a week early. I had it on pre-order, obviously, and it arrived well over a week early, and as soon as that book hit my doormat, I was reading it. Literally just love Lisa Kleypas's books. I'm running out of Lisa Kleypas's books to actually read, but that's a discussion for another video. So yeah, I read 6 books. On the whole, really enjoyed. Oh no, I've left out book 6. I reread a Lisa Kleypas book after reading Chasing Cassandra, because after that I was just like, I need more Lisa Kleypas. So I reread the first book in the Hathaway series, which is Mine Till Midnight. Obviously 5 out of 5, Lisa Kleypas. But yes, so that was the last book that I read in February. I reread a Lisa Kleypas book. So now that is everything that I read in February. Moving on to my favourites, I think I always say favourite book. Favourite book would be Chasing Cassandra, followed by My Maddie. I loved those 2 books. Like I say, the Wicked trilogy was okay, was not a favourite by any stretch of the imagination, and Mine Till Midnight was a reread, so I can't really count that. But yeah, My Maddie and Chasing Cassandra were my 2 favourite books for the month. Other favourites, my nails this month. I don't know how well they will pull off on camera, but they're like a lilac-y purple with this super iridescent, you're not going to be able to see like at all, super iridescent glitter that changes colour. They're beautiful. They're going to be done again on Thursday. Mother's Day, I want to say. So this was my opportunity to show you. But yeah, these are absolutely a favourite for the month. They're gorgeous. I can't wait to get them done there, see what else I can have. Getting my nails done is a bit of a treat for me each month. Love it. So yeah, like I said, I don't have a ton of favourites, but I do have two other things to show you, both Jeffree Star related. The first thing being this mirror. He released these in February, and I actually didn't own a Jeffree Star mirror. I've been tempted several times to get a Star mirror, but I've never justified it. But as soon as he brought out the Jeffree Star approved, as like, you know, a seal of approval as a mirror, I had to order one. I really struggled to decide whether I wanted black on pink or pink on black. I decided for black on pink. And yeah, I love it. It's a really, really nice size. I was surprised when it came that it wasn't heavier and a bit, I don't want to say a bit more quality, but they're not cheap. They're like £22. But they feel very light. I mean, in a way that's good, because when you're doing your makeup, you don't want a massively heavy mirror. But I always thought from looking at them that they would be a bit chunkier, a bit heftier. But I absolutely love it. It's the perfect size for doing my makeup. I used it today. Yeah, so I do really, 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 really love this. And the other thing that I bought in February, you can probably already guess, is the Bloodlust palette. There was a lot of controversy about this one before it released. A lot of people saying about the size of it, the heftiness of it. Some people saying that it's a purple palette with not enough purples. A lot of people not digging it. But I really, really loved it, and it's my goal to own all of Jeffree's palettes. I'm currently only missing one, but it is my goal to own all of them. And this packaging is life. Like, it reminds me of a chocolate frog. I don't know if anybody else gets that vibe, but the shape and the colour and the purple and gold reminds me of a chocolate frog from Harry Potter, so I dig it. And the actual palette itself is stunning. Like, he just goes all out. Like, he's so innovative. Love him or hate him, I happen to really, really like Jeffree Star. He always tries to push things forward, you know, with his packaging. He doesn't want to copy anybody else, and I admire him for that. But yeah, this is beautiful. It's like crushed velvet. A lot of people don't like velvet. I'm one of those people that love it, so it works out nicely for me. And I love the sort of clasp here. He just tries to make his palettes an experience, and I'm here for it. The packaging is just everything, and I, for one, I'm trying not to blind you with the mirror. I, for one, really, really like the colours. I used it for the first time today, so I don't know how well, because the lighting's not great because it's a miserable day. But I used the palette for the first time today. I found it very easy to use. I'm not a bold, I say not bold, like, I'm not going to wear these huge dramatic looks that all these influencers wear. One, I don't have the skill for it, and two, I don't have the eyes for it. Like, I have extremely hooded eyes, so all these looks that I see people wear, I can't pull off anyway because my eyes are so hooded. But I like a simple look, and you can still achieve that. I put Monarchy sort of all over the lid, and as my transition shade. I put Vivid Moon in the crease, and then I just put Betrayal all over the lid. So simple, but I really, really like how it turned out. Oh, and I put Wet Jewel, which is the super shimmery light pink, in the inner corner, and I love it. I love how it turned out. I wouldn't necessarily always gravitate towards purple. I have previously worn purple looks with the Juvia's Place palette and really, really liked how they turned out. So actually, for me, these are some really wearable purples, and I can't wait to try more of the colours in here because they're just beautiful. Where did I put that? So yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. I can't wait to see what he brings out next, and I'm also hoping to pick up the missing palette from my collection. If you can guess what that is, let me know in the comments down below. And my absolute final favourite, which I should have mentioned in January but completely forgot, is my new glasses. I picked up some new glasses. I do still wear my other frames, but they were getting a bit, I don't know, I was just bored of them, and I didn't get new glasses when I would have been due new glasses last June, and I didn't. I stuck with them, but I saw these and I absolutely love them. They're kind of tortoiseshell like, but But yeah, I absolutely adore them. I switch between frames, but yeah, been absolutely loving my new specs. So that, guys, is everything that I read in February and all my favourites for February. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all soon, and happy reading.